Hey everybody, Thanksgiving is quickly approaching and I wanted to do a video of another version of a seitan roast that you can use as a holiday roast. And if you've been following my Instagram or YouTube channel, you know that I make seitan from scratch, and I've been doing that for months now. And I've been experimenting with different colors and flavors, and this is not going to be anything different. This is going to be incorporating actually what I've learned from those experiences, and we're going to have some additional flavors. Also, we're going to do this as a stuffed seitan roast. So that's going to be a first for me. I've never stuffed a seitan roast, and I'm going to stuff it kind of like more like roll it like a jelly roll, but I'm going to include a wild rice, mushroom, green apple, cranberry stuffing that we can kind of layer. We'll roll out the seitan, layer the wild rice stuffing, roll it up, and then we'll roast it in the cook it in the broth. And then eventually we'll roast it in a pan with a compound earth balanced butter. And so I'll go ahead and go step by step with that. But as far as the ingredients go, we have spinach and blueberries for the color. And I think it's going to hopefully create more of a brown, hopefully not too gray, but kind of a brown color for the roast. And we have the onions, garlic, and jalapeno, and mushrooms. So all these things are going to be sauteed, and we're going to blend it up to add to the flour. So you need to have a vital wheat gluten flour if you're making seitan. And I also include nutritional yeast, rosemary, sage, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and also a couple tablespoons of vegan chicken broth powder. And so we'll go ahead and get ready to go, and you'll see all the ingredients as we go along. So now we're going to chop up the vegetables that we're going to add to the wild rice stuffing. We have portobello mushrooms, some apple, cranberry, sage, and thyme. Okay everybody, the kneaded seitan has rested. As you can see, it turned out a little bit different than I thought. It's more, I actually wound up more purple or more grayish. We'll see how it turns out in the end. I guess the blueberry overtook the green spinach, but I'm sure it's going to taste fantastic. And in the meantime, I also sauteed the vegetables. This is going to be the stuffing, and I added it to the wild rice. We'll go ahead and roll this out, and then layer the wild rice on top and roll it up. And then I'm going to wrap it in saran wrap, and I have a pot on the stove of simmering broth. We're going to simmer it for at least 40 minutes to start and flip it over another 40 minutes. By that time, it should be done. So as you can see, I put all of the stuffing on there, the wild rice stuffing, and you can see the mushrooms, apples, cranberries, and I got lots of herbs in there. It's going to be really tasty. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it into, I tried to roll this out into rectangle so that I could roll it just like a jelly roll. So we'll get started, and then I've got the saran wrap. This is a hearty loaf. I know it's going to be perfect for something like Thanksgiving or your holiday dinner, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the broth and cover it at least for 40 minutes to start, and I'll flip it over. And then once it's firm, and you pretty much can tell it's done when it's firm. Okay, everybody, I took the Seitan holiday roast out of the simmering broth, and now as you can see, it's a little bit more purplish in color than I anticipated. I thought it'd be a little bit more brown. So I'm actually gonna pop it in the oven. I was gonna do a compound butter, but I decided to do more of a sauce. It does have the earth balanced butter. It has some barbecue sauce, sesame seed, oil. It's gonna add some umami flavor, and it's got some fresh sage, salt and pepper. And I'm gonna drizzle this over, and I'm gonna pop it in a 410-degree oven. And hopefully it's going to get a little bit crispy, and it's going to have a more deeper, richer color that I'm going to pair with some mashed potatoes when we're all done with the whole thing. I did take a little bit of taste of it, and it does taste good, but I was actually hoping for a little bit more of a brown color. That's okay, as long as it tastes good. All right, so I'm going to pop it in a 410-degree oven for about 20 minutes. Okay, everybody, we are finally done with the holiday roast, the Seitan roast. It turned out so good. It smells so good in the house. It smells just like fall. And I'm gonna go ahead and have a taste of it. I made some mashed potatoes on the side because we're gonna actually have this for dinner tonight. And let me go ahead and dig into it. Hopefully there's gonna be some layers with the stuffing that I put in and laid out. I think next time I would probably put a little less stuffing because it kind of like busted out on the side. But other than that, it looks pretty intact, and I'm really excited to taste it. Gosh, if we had this with some little bit mushroom gravy on top with a side of yams, it tastes so good. I know that the color might be a little bit darker than you would imagine, but the taste is so good. We have the cranberries, you can taste that, and the apples with the stuffing, but it has this savoriness to it too. And that butter sauce I put on top with the barbecue, the sesame oil, that really added. With sage, oh my gosh, so good. Really good. You guys have a great weekend, and this is gonna be, I have maybe a couple more videos for Thanksgiving, but this was like the big one. This was like what you would do to replace the turkey, like the main course. And if you did a Seitan roast, you would be totally happy with it, especially a stuffed one. Wow, it really is pretty good, and so I'm really pleased with it. And anyway, you guys have a great weekend.